Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're on Shechedrin today, but you know what? I'm not seeing very high morale. Who's duking it out and why are they so upset?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have a disheartened Yanked Panther fan playing 7th Mechanized, and right-hand side in the red, we have a disheartened Eugene fan playing as the 2nd French Armored, and guess what? They're both playing Vanguard.
Of course they are.
Of
I,
course.
I honestly, I think the names are enough just to see this entire match. It could be
Yes.
the worst play in the world, and I still would watch this match. We are seeing the Jeep Rush down south.
Of course. There we go. Gonna be wrestling them in with the Greyhounds as well. Gonna be taking that position, but there's a few anti-tank and support guns here, which would like to see otherwise.
Yeah, they'd like to say otherwise. But you know what? You could take out two Jeeps, and I'll still trade two Jeeps. And if I take out your 45 mil, I mean that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's rushing the 50 cals into a very good defensive position here.
He certainly is. Now, unfortunately, it has cost him quite dearly to get them up there. He will be able to take out 145 mil,
Mm-hmm.
but he's lost three or four Jeeps. He's lost a Greyhound already. I don't know that the positional advantage is worth it so far.
Yeah, I mean, they're only two-man flamethrower teams and a bazooka team, so they're not the most survivable guys up here. But it's a good position nonetheless to slow down any advance. But the real key is to retake at. You really want to hold out plateau with good anti-tank firepower so you can keep the reinforcements get into your opposite hill. And
True.
then for the Panther fan has managed to get onto the other hill, which is worthwhile, and all the way up north, it's Eugene is a little bit outgunned. Yeah, there's a lot of Russians and only one French. Or not? No, yeah, only one. Yeah, it's French. I got confused with Russians because they're sapeurs, but they're different sapeurs.
They certainly are. They
Yeah, yeah.
certainly are. Now we are going to see actually a bit of a rush over here down the south onto this hillside. This is kind of fascinating. It's not often that we actually see a well-conceived push here, and we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, this
Um,
is.
at the same time as we're seeing, good lord, that the DB-73, the PE-2, rough versions of each other. Not perfect, obviously, but rough mirrors of each other. But yes, I'm sorry. So there's Strelkis and Vazvedkas and SVT Strelkis moving in, and they're pushing back the Sapiros over here, and they have the T-34 in support. This could be a very big play.
Yeah, this is very good CQC infantry from the Panther fan. You know, there's not really that much left here from Eugene. And the main thing here with the Panther fan, which I think he's going to be able to retake his position, is just having the proper heavy armor, or more armor, not like super heavy. He got the KV on air to the T-34, while Eugene only has an M4. He does have a 57mm cannon, but he's not in a position to actually shoot the cannon, which is not ideal.
No, not ideal indeed. Not ideal at all.
Yeah.
And we're actually seeing our first ISU 122 being brought in now. A little bit terrifying. Not sure I'd really want to be anywhere close to that.
Yes. And that can really just throw off all the armor. Yeah, it's Panther fan. Well, no, Eugene fan. I keep getting bloody confused. That Eugene can bring in because it's a bloody ISU.
Now, I'm not suggesting that we have to constantly be checking it, because every single time we have that issue, I keep looking over there myself just to kind of remind myself. Remember, despite the fact that he's red, the Frenchie would rather be dead than red. Okay?
Yeah, it's quite unfitting how the Soviets are put into the blue side this time.
Yeah. But that's what happens, I suppose, in any particular case. WC-52 being brought on forward down to the south. Normally I wouldn't even bother kind of calling this out, but when you're looking at this little, rinky-dink Jeep, it actually can do a fair amount of damage. We've seen those openings do really, really quite well. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have numbers or fire support, so as you can see right there, very quickly he buys it.
Yeah, and that's actually gonna egg on the stroke keys to push up a bit. He could actually move out the Rodevka and get a sneaky bazooka shot onto one of these Shermans, which would be pretty worthwhile here. But the main thing is, I think, is that still in the central position, Jagdpanther is still pushing onto that hill. It's a bit of a bloody fight, as he really only has Tank Disheartened and Ogre to push here, but that's a good foothold to have nonetheless. He does have a good resupply line along the northern edge, and then heading down south. And if you can capture that hill entirely, you can't really afford to lose that.
No, you can't. But you know what? There's been a bit of an unsung hero over here. And the SU-76s have been really, really great fire support so far. One of them has gone down already. You can see, really, how many do they have? Oh, they only have 15. I always feel like they have so many more than that. HE shells getting lower and lower all the time. Very much able to clear out those troops on top of that flag just to their southeast. So, don't underestimate them.
Yeah. I think just having the armor in this position here is definitely giving the Jagdpanther a good ability to move into the southern hill as well as the central position hill as well as... Yeah, Eugene hasn't really responded, and he still hasn't moved out at 57mm cannon. That is such a huge misplay, I feel like, because he could easily knock out 1 or 2 tanks with that, well, 57mm.
That's true, but I think it's because is diverted to the north. You want to see we have Superiors over here facing off against Ogre and Strokey SVTs. And I think this actually might turn into a French town. Excuse me. Yes, a French town. Doing the same thing you are, sir.
I know, it gets confusing.
Well, as we get more and more Shermans being brought on in a 60mm mortar as well, so the stovepipe will give them just a delicious amount of extra firepower. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how Disheartened Jagdpanther fan is going to be able to sneak troops in here. I don't know that's going to happen.
Yeah. And the French troops pretty early on are quite nice as Sapeurs. I don't believe he doesn't have a whole lot of them. Yes, he doesn't really have a whole lot of infantry, only going up to B phases, so I feel like for Eugene fan, he's definitely playing ride or die 20 minutes, or he's going to have a bad time, while Jagdpanther does have more. He mainly has the C phase guard or C phase strokey and the C phase T-34, which is all you really need. That's just, yeah, to keep you in the match. Oh, down south here, we're all seeing the tank push.
Yes, indeed. And we're not seeing a whole lot come the other direction. There's a 57mm who's just kind of chilling.
God.
If you dropped off, it'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But Sherman, in the meantime, going to be left basically by himself to go and engage the KV-1S. He's going to be engaged by everything else. Yes, please. Just please move that 57mm up by like 30 meters. Just 30 meters.
This is such a... You really should not be letting your opponent be able to move tanks through this valley so easily. You're really just giving up his entire hill position here. And he does have the armor support down south of the Sherman. You could try to get some flanking shots here, but... I mean, it's costly because it is a high SU, but you could definitely knock out maybe a T-34 or SU-76.
And regrettably, his 57mm is going to be able to get eyes on these tanks just in time to get absolutely screwed. The tank with the Saniki. But he does get the KV-1S at least. So, you know, he dies, but he gets a vital kill.
Yeah.
Or he's going to die. He hasn't died yet, but he's going to die.
I'm seeing another bomb and run from the DB. I see 2 DBs going to be coming in pretty hot. Will they actually do anything though? That is the question.
Might get a little bit of death. Yeah, he gets 1.
Well, there we go.
SU-76s.
And almost completely suppress that T-34 and gets the kill of the Sherman, yeah, so not bad. But the thing is that Jagdpanther almost has this hill completely under control. There's only a Sherman and 2 M5 half-tracks left, and that's not a whole lot. Though I don't have any infantry anti-tank to easily kill Sherman, so that will make things difficult. But even though, you know, almost 10 minutes into the match, it does feel like Jagdpanther does have the better momentum, but it's still 12-12.
Well, let's have an M1919 and that WC-52 with the Maudus on it are engaging the Ogre as they come through. Unfortunately, not able to get a whole lot done. SU-76I, I don't know why, but I feel like we don't see this ugly thing on here very often.
Yeah, it's only available to 7th Mechanized Corps, and it is a very weird unit, as it's a Panzer III that's been converted with a 76mm gun and a casemate, which shows that not only the Germans were capturing enemy tanks and reconverting them to be rear tank destroyers, the Russians did it in a limited capacity too.
You know, I respect that at least.
Same, you know. I mean, if all your equipment is just getting repurposed and thrown to the Russian front, it'd be like, hey, come on. You can't just copy our mortars exactly and use them. That's not fair.
License the production first. I've seen this. Give me some tungsten or something. It's a Hearts of Iron 4 joke out there for the 5 of you that play it.
I think there's many more than 5 people who play it. At least 6.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And for the one PDX developer who stops by our videos every once in a while. The Stroke Combats and the KV-1S up in the north, the 60mm stovepipes are able to do some really, really good barrage, but unfortunately they don't have the oomph to make any kind of committed dent in that fortress Moskva that we're seeing over here. It's not going to work very well.
And you really just need to be constantly shooting with the 60mm to actually get the money's worth. Because they're very good at suppressing enemy infantry scrotch, but that's really it in a town fight like this. You suppress and then you rush in to capture the infantry unit after the 60mm does its thing. I just feel like in terms of this northern push, like, he just does not have enough infantry. I mean, if you look at both decks, as we see, Jagdpanther has double the amount of infantry units available compared to Eugene. I think that's going to make a pretty big difference in this northern push.
It'll make a pretty big difference in the northern push, but the southern push is now over here utterly in the French hands. They've taken the hill, but don't have a hugely firm grip on it. There is potential to start engaging some of these approaching Su-76s.
Yeah. And the Sherman does have a good chance of blowing them up, but at the same time, it's 3 Su-76s to 1 Sherman, and the commander is not deciding to get into the fight. Probably for good reason, because I forgot, there's an ISU here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, the mortars continue their barrage to the north, but they've been so knee-jerk about it. Again, guys, this is one of the things that I'm sure, you know, Rang will disagree with me on, and I totally respect how wrong he is with it. But mortars are there to push the front lines. Unless you know exactly where a weapons team is, hit the infantry in front of you. Move the front lines. Heck, drop smoke so you can get your own troops in close. See these Voltigeur squads being moved in? You know armored vehicles are there. Drop smoke on the road.
Yeah, that's definitely be a good call. And also with these 60mm mortars, I believe he's firing them at tanks.
Yes, he is.
Which is, you don't do it with 60mm mortars. Or he's actually firing at like a blind spot, yeah. Because they're very good against infantry, as you see, to shoot out rapid barrage, but they just really have pathetic HE to even stress out tanks.
So that was the first time that they were actually aiming at a blind spot or not, rather.
Yeah.
But other than that, they've been heavily focused on being very aggressive, let's say, with hitting those AFVs.
Yeah. We've got the Sherman leader being brought in here in this town, trying to get some kills, and
He's
actually
picked up
doing
2
pretty
so
good.
far.
It's good coming pretty clutch, this Sherman.
If he survives the KV-1S.
Yes. Joy's aggression.
And does not look too good for him. Checking back down to the south for a second. Yeah, this hill is this is a devastating hill.
Oh wow, everything's just gone.
Thrown in, and it's going back the other direction. Yes, sir?
Yeah, everything's just gone on the hill.
Yes, it is.
It all just died.
What the heck's engaging out there? Oh, I forgot, you're right. The Su-76's eyes, excuse me. The Su-76 eyes are also indirect fire. I forgot about that part. Again, you don't see them. It's so strange to see it happen.
Yeah, that's a very, very odd tanks. I don't believe in indirect fire. It's just because like the Su-76 gun, it has that stupid arc. But yeah, they're still very good high explosive nonetheless. Like
yeah.
they're pretty good at knocking out infantry.
Bombing run back down to the south. I don't think it's going to be effective. It might actually hit this approaching infantry. It'd be a shock. Nope, never mind. Not really.
Nope.
Okay.
A little bit of a pin down there, but really not much to worry about here. Yeah, even like 15 minutes into this match, I feel like Eugene fan, there we go, is just having availability issues compared to Yak Panther fan. I mean, Yak Panther's man's get more of the tank blobs on the field, he has more of the infantry on the field. Yeah, it's just not really, he hasn't been really trading all that efficiently, it feels like, for Eugene. Like, he's trying to push north into his town. He does have the 2 central flags here, which I feel like is keeping him in the match, but he isn't, I don't feel like he's going to be holding on to that much longer of a company, almost, of Strokey being brought in.
Yeah, I don't see that happening very much. And I don't want to go and read too much into this, but we really could do a human wave attack on that Sherman and take out everything else around it with probably acceptable casualties.
Yeah, I think the Radavka's just going to move in and get the Zook shot off.
As he should.
Yeah. That's what Radavka's for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like really, you're just like, oh, the recon thing's nice, but I just want the bazooka, really.
And shockingly enough, he hasn't hit a dang thing yet.
Oh.
There we go.
It's a kill. That was a rough raw trade, nonetheless.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'll trade, a 30-point squad if I'm going to go and take out a, what, 65?
I think it's like 55 points to Shaman. Or maybe 65. Yeah, it's 65, yeah, correct.
Pardon me as I make a mental note of my scoreboard. That puts me at 1. Due to the Marines down to the south, by the way, between them and the Seporas, there was this Su-76 push, and one by one they were getting taken out here. And indeed, there's one more at the bottom of this hill down to the south. And I think he's pushing back because if he gets seen, he's gonna get hit.
Yes. And you
what-
don't really want to get hit.
No, you don't. And I mean, you gotta go and really hand it to the French infantry. You have lousy availability, which is going to be constantly the stumbling block for it.
Mm-hmm.
But they are deadly.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Deadly.
Like, all the semi-automatic rifles is a real huge boon. Those Sapeur squads are lovely. Even the Volontaires are not bad for what they are, but you just don't have that rush spam availability, and like, just being able to bring in double amount of stroke keys usually just makes or breaks most fights, just due to how infantry combat works for the most part in ST2. It's really just a numbers game and bringing in tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Like we keep saying as a joke. I wasn't the first guy to come up with this, Nilla originally said it, but yeah, T-34 76s are essentially your mainline infantry in it most of the time.
There's an appalling amount of humor and accuracy in that, unfortunately. Yeah. In the meantime, we have a P-40 over here that might get taken down. Yes, there he goes. So I don't know who Denisov was, but Denisov ain't... He's pretty Denisov now, actually.
He really is. But still, it's like, we're almost into sea phase still. And it's Trove. Like, I feel like Yak Panther fans should be ridden this much harder just due to how well he's been trading, but he hasn't been able to really get that important territory.
Well, here's what gets interesting. If he can hold this northern side for another 29 seconds, this push dies.
Oh yeah. I feel like Strokey is gonna just barely eke out of that off-map barrage. The artillery or airplane barrage is not something you can really dodge.
Not easily, anyway.
Oh.
It'll be fascinating to see this. Also, you got the M4A3s over here, of course, with the 76mm up guns. Gonna do pretty well, at least until the Strokies get there, but the barrage is going to come just in time to watch the... Oh no, he makes it out, wow.
Yeah, he gets most of the guys out in time, so the 76 is definitely going to back off, which is a good idea, but it's really going to concede that town position to Yak Panther, and he's going to pick up a 14-10. Oh, he's going to get an AT grenade off on this Sherman. Yeah, there we go.
That.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing up north here anymore from Eugene fan. He really has nothing to hold off this massive horde.
Well, that's kind of to be expected, though, too. I mean, these are probably Mongolians. They're probably from the steppes. You know, when the Mongol hordes get bored, oh, that's. I don't know. Not a lot of good things happen then. More bombs though do come down. Unfortunately, too late to save the M4A3 or to save the mortars here. And I think at this point he's just kind of he's that little kid who's trying to save his sandcastle when the tide's coming in.
Yeah.
And you kind of want to roll him in a blanket and be like, "Oh, honey, that's what's kind of going on right now." And I feel kind of bad for him because he's already disheartened. I mean, it's even in his name.
Mm-hmm. Wonder how much of a Eugene fan he'll be after this match.
Well, it depends if you play a war game or not.
And it's quite a shame that Disheartened Yag Panther fan isn't playing 350 seconds or get at CC Yag Panthers. I expected more from you, man. Expected much more. Mainly Yag Panthers. But maybe that's right, he's a Disheartened Yag Panther fan. He doesn't like using Yag Panthers anymore after his previous experience.
Maybe.
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 And none of them are using Disheartened troops, which is also a big disappointment.
Yeah. There's that. There's like this. This is like the worst name the entire time. It's like disheartened on you, disheartened on your cow, disheartened on your entire family. Like this is one of those moments.
This is one of the few times where you could bring Ursat's troop in and Khan would be okay with it.
Exactly. We have this rogue Sherman going over here to the west on the southern side of the map. He's gonna slowly just get bum rushed by everything. But he's pulling a fury. He's attacking an entire battalion's worth of troops. And he's gonna go down fast.
Yeah.
Feel free to fire. Okay.
Come on.
Alright. So now the thing is, can he take out the infantry in time? When they're in the open, yeah, he's gonna absolutely destroy them. Start coming down the
pretty
hill,
good hitch. That's gonna divert that attack for a little bit, which gives him some time, but that hill is definitely gonna flip over the Yag Panther's control in just a bit.
Oh, absolutely. But to me, this is one of those moments. If I have all these stinking bombers, which at this point I'm pretty sure he's bought every bomber he's got in his deck, this is the kind of infantry squad that I hit. I know he's going to be inside the forests. I would rather hit that. Don't aim. If you're gonna hit the town, for example, up north, fine, hit the town, but come in perpendicular to the front line.
Mm-hmm.
So I like some of the things that have been going on here. I'm not pretending that either play here has been fantastic, but just as a bit of a nitpicky thing here and there, just to kind of maybe help boost that game to that next level. Yes, you do have to deal with anti-air fire. That's why you have mortars. If you know what the anti-air fire is, you barrage the bejesus out of it.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go.
I think, and also to be like fair to the players, like this is from the Division 3 of SD League, so it isn't like Division 1 or 2. It's like slightly newer players to the game, to speak. But like, yeah, I feel like for this match, Eugene fan with second French, you really have to trade efficiently with that division. You have to get, really making your Shermans and infantry work for you, and he didn't really get that early on. And if you don't get that early on and get that early momentum to push, you just get beat out attrition rise, because you just do not have that attrition. And as you can see on the minimap, there's a lot more blue squares than there are red squares.
Yes, I think I got a little bit unlucky. I think I liked seeing the Jeep opening. I feel like that kind of very ballsy, aggressive play is something you need to do. You need to be constantly attacking early.
Yeah.
As the French. He just didn't get as much kind of econ trade out of that as you probably would have wanted.
Yeah,
he took out a 45 mil, and that was it.
You really needed, you need that 57mm gun in a good position to start off with, but also just, a 1 or 2 Shermans, like a 76mm Sherman, which if you can get him in A phase, or it's a risky proposition, I believe, to try and just lock down that road in that southern position, because you really need to just beat out that area of long-range tank firepower to actually control it. And Yag Panther just managed to beat him out, with all the KVs and SUs and ISUs and T-34s and all the armor he has access to, and it's pretty decent armor.
Yep, it's very, very true.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. But I mean, and the French is never an easy, division to play after 20 minutes.
No, it's a tough division to play because you do have to trade efficiently because you can't just sit back and rely on the good old fashioned strokey spam
Or guard spam, or heck,
guard
even
spam
quick the Sandiki spam.
or T-34 spam.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
your opponent has all that kind of infantry, you can't do a whole lot.
yeah.
Um, one other nitpicky thing, if I can even suggest, I know a lot of players out there despise bringing in any kind of C cards because to them it's like, okay, either I win or I quit. Which also, again, I like that we're not just like, okay, I'm a little bit bones here, I'm gonna start dropping out. But take at least one C infantry card.
Yes, I think that's always a good mandatory to take.
Yeah.
The match always usually goes on to C, and you just
Mhm.
need the numbers at that point. Even if it's not to push, it's just to hold.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
There we go.
Regardless, not quite the huge kill difference as I might have expected.
No, just like 700-800 or so.
Yes, sir. Very, exactly.
Yeah, and
Now, kill wise, yeah, some small kills here and there. At least from the French. French, not a lot of huge individuals. There's that one Sapiro squad who's got 3 vehicles to his name, the Duke. Well done to that chap.
damn, that's not bad. And losses, uh, pretty like some tanks are decent, but nothing too crazy it seems. Just
No,
some.
doesn't
Oh,
look like it.
Babin did pretty decent, but that's mainly just infantry and half tracks. And okay, one Sherman and one off map Sherman.
Yeah, he was to the north. He was the one kind of cleaning up the mess that everybody else left. So
Yeah.
he was the garbage man. But regardless, disheartened or not, Eugene fan, Yog Panther fan, love seeing new players with this. Please don't take anything said in this replay as anything other than like maybe some pointers on thinking for the future. But love seeing new play from you guys. Thanks so much for having the replay go in. Um,
Great names.
exactly.
I
Absolutely love the
totally
names.
agree.
Absolutely love the names. Yeah, Rang, you're right. Had we seen Airstats Trooping, I would have been okay with seeing Airstats opening with these names.
Hmm.
So best of luck for you guys in the division. Hopefully see more of your stuff here soon. Any final thoughts from you though, sir?
Nope.
Folks, in that case then, this is gonna end our coverage, I think, of League play for the week. Until next time, I'm Connell Work.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.